Hi, we're back in Facing Bipolar, Fetterman PhD, and Thompson MD. We might finish this chapter today, and we might not, but I will certainly have something for Saturday. So, what I put in the title is two parts of the section we're going over: grieving our losses and letting them go. So, how do we face those parts of ourselves that we don't want to face? Or, more to the point, how do we find some comfort and acceptance with all of the losses associated with bipolar disorder? Some people can find comfort and acceptance on their own, others may need professional help. How do you know what's best for you? The answer probably has to do with how successfully you find you are managing the transition into being bipolar or learning that you have bipolar. If you find that after many months you're still struggling with feelings of anger, shame, grief, and strong desires to deny or reject the diagnosis, then it's probably time to look for professional help, typically in the form of psychotherapy. So, um, what's sad about what I'm going to read? I'm just uh, giving a synopsis to it. Um, your life changes. Those who have a mental health diagnosis, your life changes, and there are many things you have to accept. You have to accept that maybe the career you were dreaming of isn't the one you can have. Maybe if you were dreaming about going to college, you're going to um, have to have all the helps I describe in my dissertation and more and more. If you're diagnosed before you go to college, it should be part of your college visits and interviews to make sure they have minimal help for mental illnesses. Because, okay, you could go back. I don't know how far away you're going to college. If you're going to Nebraska, I didn't mean to laugh, but your mental health people and your support group may be somewhere far away. So you might not be able to count on them. Therefore, you would need to be able to count, especially, um, you would be able to especially look for how much the college can provide. From when I was inspired to do my research for the Virginia Tech shooting many years ago, I just, this is my kernel of what I know. I just thought there's got to be red flags. There's got to be a safety on a college campus. Um, for a long time, I thought it would never happen at a community college. And then somewhere out west, it happened at a community college. So we're living through a very stressful time in the country. And you'd want to know, one, that your college is very secure, two, that you have help right on campus, three, that you could reach someone from your support group, and four, that you would have some access to your mental health people, your psychiatrist or your counselor. Maybe they wouldn't get back to you that minute, but they probably, if you have an ongoing relationship with them, they would probably get in touch with you at some point. And what's the task or goal of the therapy? It's really a combination of acceptance and developing the skills to manage your life effectively. But initially, the key to facing your bipolar disorder involves the development of your capacity to accept the changes that you will need to make to live with it. That means allowing yourself room for any accompanying emotional pain without denial or resistance. You need to explore your reactions to the diagnosis and encounter whatever thoughts and emotions you may find. You need to become a frequent traveler in the realm of your own bipolar experience so that you get to know the bipolar landscape. On the next page, I highlighted just a little paragraph. So when I read it, I must have thought that this is what I pulled out of this page. The process we're referring to is no, let me say it again. The process we're referring to is no different when you're dealing with some of the limitations imposed by bipolar disorder. It's a matter of accepting that which you cannot change and mourning the you that you once hoped you would become. So that's basically saying you're allowed. You're allowed to mourn. Let me say how they say that. Mourning the you that you once hoped you would become. But it doesn't mean you won't be you. It just means you need to accommodate this illness. You need to have strategies, tools, support groups, psychiatrists, counselors, whatever you need to bring your life to the baseline that fits in with everybody else in terms of jobs, relationships, friends. It's, after you grieve, it's not going to be grieving your whole life, especially if you get to the acceptance point. You say, hey, this is challenging. I'm going to meet the challenge and I'm going to make my life as it is, as wonderful as I can make it. It's not, after some hiding your head in the sand and feeling sorry for yourself, you have to pick yourself up. It's not always, easy in the midst of depression or mania, but you have to pick yourself up and just take one little step at a time. It's not going to be easy. And if somebody says to you when you have a mental illness, pick you up by your bootstraps, don't you think you would pick yourself up by your bootstraps if you could? It's not a very helpful thing to say. Um, okay, so last page, but I'm going to get in these two paragraphs and then we'll look for something for mañana. Um, we're not inviting you to a party. We are inviting you to face the very real complications and losses that may be involved in your experience with bipolar disorder. Occasionally, your hypomania may interfere with your work productivity. Sometimes a manic episode may knock you out of commission for several weeks. Sometimes your depression will pull you down. And sometimes your need for a full night's sleep may interfere with the spontaneity of a night out with friends. These are all real possibilities. The adaptations you'll need to make to minimize these derailments will depend upon the unique shape and patterns of your life. You will have to modify your lifestyle to appropriately adapt and manage your intermittent bipolar symptoms. That's real. So we're saying intermittent bipolar symptoms. That doesn't mean the rest of your life will be one horrible off baseline mess. No. Many mental illnesses don't have to knock you off the rail of your train. Um, and where am I? You will have to modify your lifestyle to appropriately adapt oh, I already said that. That's real. And the more you can develop true inner self acceptance, the more likely you will be to find fulfillment in many different aspects of your life. You don't have to be the picture of perfect mental health in order to be loved, but you do have to accept your limitations in order to be whole. That is so cool. I'm loving this book. And I remember uh, loving Russ Fetterman, PhD, when I did my dissertation. He always had the nicest way to say it, like a non discouraging, like, not that he's not noticing what's going to change, but a very encouraging way that let's make the most of what you have to work with. And that's what every life should be, making the most of what you have to work with, learning your tools, learning your goals. If you have a mental illness, modifying your goals. But I don't think for many cases you have to throw them totally away. So, happy Friday. I will see you mañana. And it may be in a whole nother book, unless I like the chapter that comes after what we've just done. So take care. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow. Bye.